What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the report. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here. We are back, and that is an absolutely massive win for the Heat. They did not look good in the first quarter. I'm not gonna lie; it looked pretty bad. But we came out, we battled, we secured the dub. I understand it's against the Hornets, but listen, the Hornets have gotten a little better this year. I'm not gonna lie; I have them in the play-in, so yeah, it's not like a quality win, but a win is a win, and you need wins in this league. You got to beat up on the teams you're supposed to beat. We're officially 1-1. There's a lot of things I want to talk about, a lot of positives, some negatives, but first of all, I do want to give a shout out to the clutch time offense. I mean, as bad as the offense was at the start of the game, you can see the potential of what this offense can be down the stretch. You just have so many guys you can give the ball to. You had a dagger from Jimmy, you had a dagger from Hero, you had a dagger from Terry back to back. And that's just the potential of this offense. You know, all three guys played pretty good games. Jimmy had a very slow start, but definitely did turn it on after the second quarter. He rattled off 7 straight, and he ended with 26, 8, and 8, almost a triple-double. I thought Hero, like the first game, was very good. He was pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie. He was getting to the rim a lot, and I thought that really helped our offense. And I'm going to touch on that, why the clutch time offense was so much better than the offense at the start of the game. And I thought Terry, I thought it was a much more efficient game for Terry. He picked his spots, but he shot. I think he had a field goal percentage of almost 60%, and he had 19, 5, and 3 against his former team. That dagger was huge over Nick Richards in the corner. Bam was very quiet. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't his best offensive game by any means. He was 0 for 2 from 3. He was 6 for 17 from the field. But he was battling. I do want to talk about the boards, because I think that really was a factor in why the Hornets were able to claw back into this game at some point. But I will say it was a good team win. I thought off the bench, Alec Burks was absolutely massive, man. I mean, I'm not sure why he didn't play in the first game, but whenever he was just on the floor, it just felt like the team was doing better. I think he had the second highest plus minus on the team tonight. He was really good. I thought Alec Burks was just making impactful plays, and he was part of that closing unit, I believe. So, he was doing a really good job out there. I think he's definitely cemented his place in the rotation. I'm not gonna lie. I think Alec Burks definitely should be in the rotation going forward. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about that at all. Quiet games from Duncan and Jaime. I thought Jaime did pretty well defensively. He did a little bit of everything. Also had 6 rebounds. Duncan was pretty quiet. Missed all 5 of his 3-point shot attempts. Definitely didn't want to see his shot get back to where it's falling. But he's getting them off, which is a good thing. Jovic was okay. I feel like I just need to see Jovic be more consistent with the shot as well, just because those are looks he's going to get. I'm going to talk about Jovic because, it's not his fault, or maybe it is, but I feel like a lot of teams are going to be able to get away with putting a smaller defender on Jovic, just like how the Hornets did today with Seth Curry. And Jovic is going to have to figure out how to punish them because, if you allow a team, a much better team than the Hornets, a championship contender, a playoff caliber team, to put one of their worst defensive options on your power forward, then you're basically kind of just playing 4-on-5 offensively. They know that Jovic is not the post scorer or the finisher that he wants to be, or that the Heat want him to be. So they are putting a smaller defender on him because they know he doesn't have the post offense to punish them. So he needs to just get down there in the post and work on finishing, over a smaller defender, or taking a smaller defender to the basket, or he needs to be able to pass out of that, post opportunity. But if he's just going to sit and stand at the 3-point line all game, it's going to be very predictable, because you're going to be able to just put a smaller defender on him and just chase him off screens. You really have your power forward, who's like 6'10", playing like a shooting guard, essentially. If you're just having Jovic on the perimeter the whole game, you need to have Jovic inside as well. I think that's one aspect I would tweak of the offense. I understand he's probably not the best post player, but just because he is playing that position for us, like, you just can't be purely a guy who's just going to be out on the perimeter, just running everywhere and trying to get open. Like, teams can easily scheme against that. They can easily put their weaker defender on him, hide their weaker defender by just having him chase Jovic around. And then which will allow them to put a stronger defender on the likes of Jimmy or Terry or Tyler or Bam. So that's the biggest issue that I'm seeing with Jovic offensively is that he's just not being – I guess he's just not being utilized like the position that he's playing. He's not – he doesn't play like a power forward. He's playing like more of a two guard or a point guard. So that even hurts us on the boards because, we don't really have much size out there besides Bam, and Jovic at 6'10" doesn't really play like his size. So that's the big thing that I'm like focusing on Jovic. I don't think it's time to hook him from the starting lineup yet. But I do think that we need some size and we need some, we do need somebody who's going to be able to play like a power forward next to Bam. So if Jovic can work on that part of his game and continue to develop it over the season, then I think we'll be okay. But as of right now, it just hasn't looked great from him. So that's the one thing I would say about him. I thought, I just feel like the disparity between the clutch time offense and the offense in the first quarter was really just the paint touches. We were not able to get to the paint at all in the first quarter. Like nobody was able to create any space. It was just all side to side action. Nobody was able to get downhill, go to the rim, like nobody. And then we saw it open up a little bit in the second quarter. We saw Tyler, we saw Terry, we saw Jimmy put his head down and just get to the basket. When you get to the basket in the NBA, like good things happen because you're forcing the defense to commit. It's very simple. It's not rocket science at all. Like the easiest way to score a basket is by getting to the paint and making a decision, whether it's shooting, whether it's handing it off, dumping it off to your center, whether it's passing it to a shooter. Like so many things can happen off of just paint penetration. And that is one thing that the Heat have lacked, that they lacked in the first 4 quarters of the season and 5 quarters of the season. Let's say included the first quarter of this game. But after the second quarter, they were able to kind of figure it out. And especially in the fourth quarter, it was like, everybody was able to get into the paint, which was really good. And you have willing shooters like Alec Burks, who's in the corner spacing. Tyler Hero was spacing. Terry was spacing. So the key for this offense to work is for more paint touches and literally as much paint touches as possible. Like you need, people to get into the restricted area to force the defense to do something. Because against better teams, like the Hornets, we were very lucky in the first quarter that the Hornets were turning the ball over a ton. And I guess you got to credit our defense because this could have been a blowout in the first quarter, the way we were playing offensively. Like it was terrible. Like it was absolutely putrid offensively. And luckily for us, the Hornets were just as bad or almost even worse than us offensively. Like they were turning the ball over like every 2 seconds. It was crazy. They were just out of control. So both teams definitely looked pretty shaky offensively. But a good team will punish you for that. A team that's much better than the Hornets will punish you for not taking your chances, for not getting to the paint, for not creating anything offensively, and they will blow you out from the start. So we need to be prepared from the first quarter. I don't want to see us starting games slow. I understand the first part of our schedule is relatively easier than the back half. So I do want us to focus on getting wins at the start. I'm not sure who exactly we play next. I think the Knicks, the Spurs are in the mix. I think it might be Detroit actually because that's D Wade's statue unveiling. So forgot about that. Yeah, shout out to D Wade. So we play Detroit, who are 0-3 right now, but Detroit just came off of a dogfight against Boston. So listen, I remember last time we played Detroit, the first game of the season, like it came around to the wire. And then when we played in Detroit once, I remember that Bam had to hit a game-winning 3 for us to win that game. So Detroit will play hard. Cade Cunningham's an absolute superstar. So you're going to have to play hard against Detroit. But, yeah, the offensive disparity, if people are wondering why the clutch time offense was so much better, it's really just because we were just getting into the paint more. So it was just opening up so much more. Like, you're not going to go anywhere if you're just passing around the perimeter and trying to, create something, but you're not able to create separation. Like it's way too predictable. It's not effective. You're not getting anything, from that. So just get more paint touches offensively. I did think defensively we were pretty good tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I thought we were pretty solid defensively. LaMelo had 27, but he was pretty inefficient. He only shot about 40% from the field. I thought in the first quarter we let Seth Curry get way too hot, but we definitely were able to, cool him down a little bit. But the boards are like the biggest issue for me on the defensive end. I felt like our team defense, our individual defense, I thought our players, like our defensive players, were playing pretty hard. Even Terry and Tyler were scrappy. Like they were trying to be as scrappy as possible, which is all we want from them because physically they're not the most imposing defenders. But if they are putting hustle into their defense and putting energy, that'll frustrate an opponent. But the rebounding was the biggest issue for me defensively. It's like we were not able to secure defensive rebounds. Charlotte had 15 offensive rebounds. It was kind of crazy because like there's so many possessions where we would play 20 seconds of great defense. They would put a shot up and it would go to Nick Richards, or I believe Diabate, who played some minutes in the first quarter. He had a couple of rebounds, some couple big rebounds. But yeah, Nick Richards had 12 rebounds. Miles Bridges had about 9 or 10, I believe. LaMelo almost had 10. So got to clean up the boards, man. I feel like just with the composition of this team, it's going to be pretty hard for us to rebound consistently, but we just have to do it as an effort thing. Like, I understand physically we're going to be pretty outmatched against bigger teams, which is why I feel like our Achilles heel will be against the bigger teams, against the teams like Boston, against the teams like Dallas, against the teams like Minnesota. Like, those teams will give us issues because they are bigger. Like, they're physically more imposing than we are. We don't have much size on this team at all. We have no true 7-footer. I think Thomas Bryant's 6'11", so yeah, no 7-footer in our rotation at all. And even the 6'10" power forward we have doesn't play like a power forward. He plays like a 2-guard. So we don't have any like physically imposing size on this team, which is why we will be struggling a little bit against the bigger teams. I will say right now. But if Spo can find out an antidote for that, it'll be really, really helpful, because that's the one part where I'm like, I know this team can be pretty good this season, but when it comes down to the playoffs and getting to the playoffs and playing against the better teams who are bigger than you, how are they going to match up against those teams? That's what I want to see this season. So we'll see once we get to those matchups. But right now, it's a good win. It's a good win. It's just a good win. It's a solid win. Great to be 1-1 and not 0-2. We'd love to be 2-0, but we're 1-1 is a lot better than being 0-2. So pretty happy about that. We are back at it against Detroit. I think tomorrow. I think we might be on a back-to-back actually. So if we are on a back-to-back, which I think we are, I believe, yeah, we are. Or is it on Monday? It might be on Monday. Yeah, it's on Monday. So I don't have to give my preview of Detroit right now, but that is back at home. Like I said, it's the day of D Wade's statue unveilment, so it'll be pretty good to see that. I think it's gonna be the "This Is My House" when he's on the scorer's table. Let me know what you guys think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be that, but can't wait to see his statue. Cannot wait to see us against Detroit. Hopefully, we get a dub there too. And yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Give me your thoughts about the offense, about the defense, about the clutch time scoring that we were able to use to boost ourselves to a 1-1 start. And yeah, I'll see y'all later as always, man. Go Heat. Peace.